Hello, growth guys and gals. This is Ashley from Small Town Marketer, and you're listening to the PartnerPath podcast. This is a space where we believe that if you need to reach a market that you can't alone, you can do so without increasing turnover of your people or your customers and getting a good ROI on your investments. So, thank you guys so much for all of the love and support that you have given us thus far. We are now on episode 3, and I'm so excited to kick off this lovely episode by talking about kind of the origin story of Small Town Marketer. I figured it would be a lovely bridge to talk about why did I decide to go down this path of entrepreneurship? Why have I decided to start this podcast now? And just give a little bit background on what are some of the things and the experiences that have shaped coming into this new experience of going full-time entrepreneurship again, and what are some of the lessons that I learned along the way? Oh, my ADHD just kicked in. I forgot to say why I'm outside. I'm so sorry, guys. Forgot to explain why we're in a different setting and why this is a little bit late. So we are going to be posting this a couple days behind schedule. We had a nice opportunity to come a couple provinces over to visit my boyfriend's family. So we are actually on, as you can see, a lovely lake. I will say that it is absolutely beautiful out, and I'm so happy to be spending some much needed creative time just kind of unwinding and enjoying the beautiful scenery. So anyways, that's why you're outside. I thought that it would be nice to kind of have the lovely background as our setting for today's podcast episodes. All right, so up on the screen here, I'll put it over to my right. I just sat down and journaled, why did I start Small Town Marketer? Now, there are a couple reasons, and I'll start with the first one. The real push to get me, I guess, on the right path was having ownership over my financial freedom. It's been a long history of having the same kind of mindset year over year. Traditionally, if I would have followed the normal path, so to speak, I come from a small town, like I said. Macadam is only 1,200 people-ish. And for women, if you wanted to stay in that town, the options were you can be a teacher, either elementary school or high school. You can work in a daycare, taking care of kids. You could be a special education assistant. You could work at a grocery store, either preparing the food or the cashier. You could be a bank teller, some sort of administrator, or, of course, in personal care. Could be working at the nursing home, being an LPN, being an RN. It could be, any of the facilitations of taking care of others. That's basically what sums up what my options were. And, it took a lot to kind of break free from that mindset of this is all that I can be. Going to university and taking that leap, choosing that first was definitely something that helped me break free from that mindset of I can only be XYZ. There I learned a lot about business. Specifically, I took 3 co-op terms in accounting. Going into my school journey, I was like, okay, what can I do, right? What can I do to make sure that
I've got enough money to pay my rent and all of my bills at the end of the day. So immediately I was like, okay, people need people to take care of their money. Anybody that makes money needs someone to take care of it. So that was kind of my mentality going into university. I was going to get my accounting degree. My end goal was to be a CPA and eventually own my own practice, but that would be down the line, right? Fortunately, I did have the opportunity to go into the co-op program, so I was able to do 3 different terms working for 3 different sectors of accounting all the time. And in accounting, you have to be extremely detail oriented down to the dollar, or else your trial balance won't balance, and it's hard to kind of separate yourself from that perfectionist like vibe. I can hear there's a jet ski behind me and he's just bumping music. I love it. Now that you have the background on why I chose the career, the path that I chose, marketing really spoke to me because I love understanding why people make decisions and why did somebody say the thing they did, or why did somebody react the way they did. I don't know if it is my anxious mindset or whatever that aspect is about me. I really love understanding people and what makes them tick, what makes them happy, what makes them sad. It's always fascinated me, and because I was told at a young age that having a job and getting a good job was my ticket to success, it was always kind of difficult for me to understand how I can really have that grip on financial freedom if I was at the mercy of somebody else's financial discretion of my value. So there was definitely a gap in understanding how can my skill set be put into a role or a job that is perfectly aligned with what compensation they think is the right amount to give me. Now, that's never going to be perfect. Take my mom as an example. She joined a company when she was around my age, and she still works for that same company. When she was hired, she was a chemical engineer by trade. There was an opportunity to create a position where her skills, not only just from her education, but from just the pure essence of how my mom does her work, they were able to make a new position that blossomed from just a local regional position to a multinational overseeing position. She was able to identify what her skills are, what the gap and the need of her company was, and say, hey, listen, I can definitely do what you need. When the regional structural changes within the organization, my mom's job was still intact because she had formulated herself and her skills in a way that the company valued at a higher level than what she thought she could be, just staying where she was. So again, bringing it back to the whole thinking bigger than where you're at right now, having a plan and just motivating yourself to get there. She did this back in the 90s. She was slaying before somebody even could tell her what that meant. That was the first point that I had around why I wanted to start this business, was just having pure financial freedom over what do I do in the run of a day to make me the money that I really need. So the next one, like I kind of mentioned there, was ownership over time management. So for me, this was a really big one. I have learned that my body functions differently than a lot of others. I have been diagnosed clinically with ADHD. Everybody who knows me knows that it is quite an interesting challenge to have this. I wouldn't say disability, definitely an ability. That said, having this, it means that I need to have a different time schedule than a lot of traditional approaches to working. This looks like, in the morning, I need to have a slow morning. I need to relinquish all of that energy that I lost in the night. Usually that looks like making sure that I take a wonderful shower in the morning, to have my speaker going. It just boosts my mood and makes me feel good. Getting most of my deep work done in the morning, and then usually have a lull in the afternoon. Once I have my lunch, I take myself for a little hot girl walk, whether that be with myself or with a fellow business partner or collaborator, just a friend. So I do that, bring myself back, I get more work done in the afternoon, I have supper with my partner, and then do a little bit more work in the evening. But what I'm really trying to get to is really that shut off and having the evening be my creative recharge time. So whether that be doing coloring with my alcohol markers, or painting, or crocheting, or my point is, of all of this to say, I like to have ownership over my time. What am I going to be doing in the run of a day? It's just focusing on me. What do I need to get done? Having self-ownership and the agency to be able to understand what needs to be done and when it needs to be done. I could work, honestly, sometimes the best vibes I get is from 11 p.m. to like 2 a.m., right? And that is just my discretion. That's when I feel the most ready to go, and I think that's perfectly fine. And being an entrepreneur and being my own boss has allowed me to come to terms with saying that's okay, and I get shit done, so that's all that matters. Okay. So the third thing that I wrote down, that when I was thinking about why I started Small Town Marketer, looking at basically, as I mentioned in the beginning, there wasn't anybody that was doing this that I knew around me. There was no marketing agencies in Macadam, and I know it's a small town and it's hard to compare, but I only knew like 1 or 2 marketing agencies in the surrounding metropolitan areas. It wasn't something that I felt was attainable because I was just coming into the market, into the job market after school. It was a challenge to understand my place in business ecosystem. But after I was able to take a step back and say, okay, wait, maybe I just can do this myself. And what's the difference between me owning a marketing or a accounting firm and being the partner in an accounting firm, and owning a marketing firm and being the partner in a marketing firm? It's the same it's a different professional service, but it's the same structure. And just giving myself the permission of saying nobody else does this, but maybe that's okay. Having that, what do you want to call it? Ownership, agency, determination, it all really motivated me to want to just say, okay, I can do this, and then do it. Now, funny enough, I'm trying to do that for other people too. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was having the ability to have creative freedom and expression of my craft. You can probably make the assumption that in marketing, there are a lot of opinions. Someone's opinion is just their way of expressing how they think it could be better. Having the ability to have creative freedom and expression was important to me because I was in a few roles where, and it's totally okay, when you have a rigid corporate structure, sometimes there are rigid corporate brand guidelines. There are ways of doing things and how things have been done in the past, it's all been the way that things have been done for so long that they just accept that this is the way that things need to be done going forward. This happens with large institutions, it happens with big corporate businesses, and sometimes it even happens with small companies that have a lot of control over the creative process with their employees. And the few startups I worked with in the beginning of my career, the university, just a few observations I was making was when I was working with the people inside of these companies, I was really limited in the advice I could give because I was representing a company. I was working on behalf of somebody else. All the clients and the customers I was working with were not my own because I was not representing Small Town Marketer in those roles. I was representing whatever company I was working with at the time. So having that choice to be able to give a recommendation based off of what I believe is the best recommendation in my professional opinion, it gave me the liberty to be able to go against the grain. So having the ability to challenge my customers or clients' opinions and strategies has really given me a lot of liberation in starting Small Town Marketer. It's also came with a lot of challenges because now it's up to me to have discernment, is this feedback coming from a place of hurt or awkwardness? Did I rub it the wrong way? Is that a truth they weren't ready to hear? Is it maybe something that wasn't planned or expected to be brought up? All of these kind of awkward nudges in the right direction can come across as conflict when a lot of the time it's necessary to really get to the root of why something is the way it is. So yeah, circling back to having that creative freedom and the freedom of expression in my craft has been a huge contributor as to why I continue Small Town Marketer. Oh, I like this one. The next one I wanted to touch on was working with people that make me happy. I was chatting again with another entrepreneur, the same one that I had mentioned in my last episode actually, and I can't remember if I had talked about this on the podcast or not, but I'll bring it up again. When we were talking about having values and understanding, what do you stand for and why do you do what you do, I was chatting with this entrepreneur and I asked her how she qualifies her clients. And she said, honestly, Ashley, it's kind of simple to me. And I said, oh? She said, 2 things. 1, do they align with the values I align with? Do they stand up for the things I stand up for? Are they all for the things I'm all for? And 2, do they make me want to dance? That was literally her second one. Do they align with my values and do they make me want to dance? And I absolutely love that mindset because when you take a step back and account for everybody that you talk to in the run of a day, if all of them made you want to dance, that would be so much fun. Your day would be a completely different day. You wouldn't wake up and feel the dread of having to go to work. It's more like the joy of getting to collaborate with really awesome people every single day. That there is what I'm striving for in my business, is just working with pure good people. And as you work with more of those good, pure people, they don't have to be pure. Everybody makes mistakes. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when you work with people that you align with, your values, your visions, your missions, all of those things align, you draw in more people like that, right? hey, look at us, look what we do. If you do the same thing, come join us. And it's not a culty come join us type of vibe. It's like shit can be lonely, guys, out there, or it can be hard. Life can be tough. If we are aligned, come be with us. It's not so lonely when you have somebody by your side. And then when you have lots of people by your side doing the same, not doing the same things, but facing very similar challenges in a different font, so to speak. Hearing their successes helps you remember that there is success to be had, that you can have that too. You just need to get through the thick of it. But enjoying that thick of it is really how you thrive, because the process might be hard, but getting there, when you work with people that make you happy, the process seems like a breeze, right? To get to your goal. So lately, I've been thinking about, what do I value? What do I stand for? And thinking back to why I started my business, what I stand for and what I value really comes down to when someone feels small and visible. Really, when someone's the underdog, that's my jam. I love spending time with people who have a compelling story, who, when they speak, people listen because they have something important to say, or they have something really moving about them. Even if you don't have that quality of change, I can tell when people are passionate. When I think about what I value most, and it comes back to, this almost every day when I sit down to, I have ADHD, like I said, it helps me to be able to meditate and to take some time in the day to just bring myself at peace. When I do my meditations, I always think about, what do I want to surround myself with? And usually that looks like love, honesty, transparency, collaboration, cooperation, synergy. I really love surrounding myself with people that are creative and have a lust for life, just a passion for being passionate and loving the little things. I make sure that I know that there's always duality, there's always two sides of a story, there's always two outcomes that could pursue. It's always remembering, all right, what is going to get me through this? What challenges am I facing? What is the most ethical choice? What is the best choice that if I chose this, if I sat with that, it would make me feel good inside. Even if it was a tough choice and you had to piss some people off, I really value people that are authentic and know that they have this value that nobody else has. Because like I said in the first episode, collaboration over competition, collab over comp, you don't have to work so hard at proving you're better than everybody else when what you've created is perfect for a group of people that have enough money to be able to pay you for your value, right? When you're creating your business, you need to make sure that that is the case in the first place, right? Market product fit, market service fit. There's always going to be people out there that are going to support you when you're like-minded, and you can find those people that are exactly like I say, working with people that make you happy. I think having that close to your heart when you're building your business is something that is very important. And what I'm going to be taking with me in my journey. Okay, so The last one that I had on here is really kind of hits me in the feels a little bit. It's not relying on others to make the money that I deserve. Our society has created a box, has created a way of living, one that is perceived to be the best course of action. I mentioned one of the driving factors to creating Small Town Marketer was to break the chains of creative boundary. I started my business so that I had the freedom and the liberty to be able to deliver a service in the quality and the delivery that I think is needed, even if it goes against what everybody else thinks. Because sometimes a catalyst, which is what I try really hard to be in my life, a catalyst can come from many circumstances. It can come from everything is the same and one thing is different. Every day is the same and you do one thing different and it changes everything else. It can look like there is nothing and all of a sudden there's something, and that something changes everything. A catalyst, it really is the point in time where something changes. And like I said, change is so scary, and we've already come to know that change is uncertainty. Change is kind of uncomfortable. Change is really beautiful sometimes, once you get through, like I said, the thick of it. But if you've got people beside you that make you happy, the thick of it is always going to be good. But yeah, so circling back to not relying on others to make the money I deserve. Me being the catalyst going forward for my business looks like me bringing out that understanding and that awareness of, oh my gosh, I can do this. Oh my gosh, I've never thought of myself that way before, or my business that way before. Oh my gosh, how did you know that was what my value was? Sometimes I don't even need to know. Sometimes it's just asking questions until they bring it out of them. And knowing that I have this power of being able to identify that superpower in people and being able to show them, here is a plan to be able to make your biggest dreams come true, and you indeed can do this. All of those things are the reason why I started Small Town Marketer, so I could do that for people. Finding that intangible value that may not be super obvious in the day-to-day, but when you take a step back and you see what you've built, you know, wow, there is something about me that nobody else can compare. And then honing in on that and really driving your business forward using that point of view, exponential. It's amazing. Understanding those things help you be able to choose the right people to bring into partnerships and to sell your product for you or with you to markets that you can't sell to by yourself. Understanding what you stand for and your value makes it a lot easier to say no to things that don't serve you or customers. You can say no to the customers too. And just knowing that when you have ownership over your time, ownership over the people, maybe not ownership over the people, let's say
agency over the time spent and the types of people that you're spending your time with. Having freedom of creative expression and ability to understand your scope of work and the delivery that you're actually giving. Well, when you have all of these things and you work with people that make you happy, you don't need to rely on others to make the money you deserve. Because when you're doing all these things, you're growing a community of people who love doing what they do too. Everybody around you knows what their worth is and how much they're valued, and your successes aren't seen as something that's, yay, good for Ashley, she's got a new podcast episode out. Instead, it's like, oh my gosh, did you hear? Ashley's got another podcast episode out. And today, she was talking about why she started her business, and I love that. She made me think of why I started my business, What I'm trying to say is, I started Small Town Marketer. I started PartnerPath. I started all of these things. Soon, coming soon. We'll see about that. But I did this so that I can be around people that love bringing value to others as much as I do. And I started this because I want to share the story of the underdog. I want to make the people who feel like they cannot be visible, I want to make them visible. I want to tell their story. I want them to feel special and to know that they can do hard things. And my God, look at what wonderful things happen when you decide to do hard things too. That's why I started my business. And I want to say thank you, everybody, for listening and tuning in. I know I haven't talked a lot about marketing up to this point, but getting into these aspects with you guys really helps me be able to put forward exactly the way I want to be perceived in the way that you will perceive it to be. That doesn't really make sense. Let me rephrase. I say all these things in hopes that something I say will be related back to you. Or, okay, let me try that one more time. All of this to say, guys, I wanted to share this story so that if there's anything that you can relate to here, whether it be breaking the traditional path and doing something you love to do, knowing that it might be not exactly what everybody else does. Maybe it's taking ownership on your day-to-day and taking ownership to make that money that you deserve, because you know you deserve it. I hope you could take something from it. My people will be here supporting me and encouraging me. If you guys have any topics or suggestions, feel free to drop a comment. I'm going to be posting this on all of the major social media networks, and I'm working on getting Apple podcasts up and running. So thank you guys so much, and excited for the next one. Woo! Okay. Bye.